Hello everyone, welcome to APTI Plus Academy for Civil Services. I hope all of you are doing well, preparing well for the upcoming examination. In this video, I'll be discussing two important topics which is there in the limelight and even relevant for the civil service examination in particular. That two important topic is first about the India and Maldives deteriorating relationship, and the second is regarding the virtual digital asset regulation in the country. These two topics is specifically relevant for your mains examination per se, and the discussion that we are going to have will be inclined towards mains orientation. This will be an in-depth analysis ensuring that the coverage of each and every aspects is there, and it will also help you to get a clarity on the given topic which is mentioned. So we'll start the discussion. The two important topic is again relevant for both. Even for prelims, it will contribute. It is specifically meant for main purposes, and even it will help you in the essay paper as well. So without any further ado, let's get started and understand the relevance of this topic, its various dimension, and its important to the examination. Let's get started. So first we'll see the shift in the India and Maldives relation. We are seeing the deterioration of the part of the engagement between both countries. There are something that is not working out and even not sorted between these two countries. We'll see what are the problem and how this problem has actually emerged. So before that, I'll give you the important details at what I'm going to discuss. So we'll start with the important issues. First is about the India and Maldives relation. We'll see the location, how it is important in terms of location, the economical cooperations between two countries, the diplomatic relations, counterbalancing China, how the part of Maldives relation is a countering to the China's. Second, we'll see the deterioration in Maldives relation, how in the recent time the deterioration has been witnessed. We'll see the scrapping of the hydrological survey agreement. Then we'll proceed with the withdrawal of the forces that was there recently in the news, China's increasing dominance in the Maldives, and even the Chinese infrastructure investment. And we'll have a conclusion to understand that what best can be done in this regard. So we'll start one by one, starting with India's Maldives relation, and even I'll give you the background that why we are discussing it, right? So to give you the brief background, what has actually happened recently, the Prime Minister of India, Mr. Narendra Modi, has made a visit to Lakshadweep, right? And his visit has tried the tension between two countries, that is India and Maldives. Why? Because three of their deputy minister, I'm talking about Maldives, three of their deputy minister, that is the Ministry of Youth Affairs, have made a negative comments on India's, and the Prime Minister criticizing the part of India and even the things that was actually making things more worse between India and Maldives, right? So this has led to the call of the celebrities and even to promote the domestic tourism and even cancelling the traveling to the Maldives. They have urged that we need to explore. There were a lot of hashtags that was trending in even in the Twitter and social media platform, that you need to visit India, explore Lakshadweep, Maldives, and even to deny the fact that we should be boycotting the visit to Maldives. So these were some of the trend that has been recently witnessed. Now, this incident has also highlighted the risk of hyper-nationalism, and the region has emphasizes the important and constructive cooperations between the two Asian regions. Definitely, Maldives, in the area terms, it is small country, but geopolitically, it has a due importance because of the connectivity to the eastern region and even to the eastern of the Middle East and even to the China part. So we'll see the geopolitical part, the location as well. So let's get started with other details. So India and Maldives share a strong diplomatic relation. Now, this is something which has not started new. It's a way back when we have started. So the focus of the partnership between India and Maldives has been with the capacity building, working together and share the challenging and priorities between the countries. Now I'll give you some of the important aspects which is there in terms of India and Maldives bilateral relation and how the diplomatic ties has continued over the time. So this is just to give you a sneak peek of the part and even to give an idea that how the performance was there between India and Maldives. Now, first talking about location, because this is the most vital part that we have to consider, and this is a fact that Maldives hold a strategic importance to Indian Ocean region. अगर IOC की बात करें Indian Ocean region में strategically काफी important countries हैं, situated at the crucial maritime trade route between the Gulf of Aden and Strait of Malacca. Maldives act as a toll gate, and even if the half of the India external trade and 80% of its energy import is somewhere related to that. I'll show you a map to have a better understanding what I'm actually talking about. So it is evident from the map. You can see this is the Maldives, this is Sri Lanka over here, and this is how it has given an opportunity and toll to reach out to the Middle East countries and even to Chinese part. So all the trade through this region is actually being circumvented with the region, right? Maldives is India's key maritime neighbor. अगर बात करें Indian Ocean region में, they occupy a special in terms of the geography, it has a special part, and the vision of Sagar which actually India has come up with, that is the security and growth for all in the region, calls for the neighborhood first policy as well. So Maldives has always been a part of Sagar initiative and the part of the neighborhood first policy which India has proactively advocated in terms of the geopolitics. Now, if you look at the economic cooperations between the countries, both countries have a major trading partners, both India and Maldives. कुछ important trade sectors की बात करें in terms of bilateral trade, we have the fisheries at the one front, then tourism. Tourism again definitely contribute a lot in terms of tourism, basically to Maldives, and even the maritime trade. I'll show you a graph of data that will help you understand कि कितनी tourism जो है वो Maldives की contribute करती है. India has made economic assistance to Maldives even in the form of grant in terms of line of credit. अगर credit lines की भी बात करें, development projects के लिए, infrastructure के लिए, healthcare के लिए, India has been proactively contributing to Maldives. Even during COVID-19, India was a country which has actually helped the neighboring countries as a part of the neighborhood first policy, and even prioritizing that part, we have assistance in providing the vaccines to the country on humanitarian ground. So these were some of the proactive efforts that India has already made with a country like Maldives. Now, even to give you a better picture and understanding about the tourism that we have a footfall in Maldives. So India, the part of tourism coming from India is on the highest side. Second goes to Russia, then the third China, UK, Germany, Italy, United States of America, France, Spain, and Switzerland. So these are the part of the tourists that have arrived in 2023. So this is something very important to set a context that how important actually India is also for Maldives. No, in terms of the part of geography or its location, Maldives is an important country. But we were even making a substantial contributions even to the GDP of the Maldives. Now, diplomatic relations की अगर बात करें, high level of visit was actually there between both the countries. The two countries have been frequently fostering the diplomatic relations and understanding. And India and Maldives has collaborated on international forum. अगर कुछ international forums की बात करें, the forum was like South Asian Association for Regional Cooperations, and even some UN nation and regional organization was also important for both the part where diplomatic relations was actually augmented and improved. Now, countering China is again something with the Maldives, we are actually able to make the counterbalance of China. Maldives present an opportunity to India to have a counterbalance of China's growing influence in the IOR, that is the Indian Ocean region, right? And even fostering the regional balance of power. So this was a country which was actually where the part where India was pretty confident on making a good and healthy relationship, but because of the change of the government, this particular government, the Mizu government, which has recently come to the power, is more inclined and more pro-China. We'll see the dimension why it is there, how the investment has been made. We'll see detail to that as well. Now, deteriorating in India's and Maldives relation, the recent trend, basically the context which I'm setting is on the part of recent trend. So recently we have come across the news where the hydrographic survey agreement was scrapped between India and Maldives. तो ये कुछ एक बहुत important agreement थी इंडिया और मालदीव्स के बीच में, which has been cancelled. So recently the Maldivian government has announced that it will terminate the hydrography agreement which was signed in 2019. So this was pretty new agreement, not that old. Signed in 2019, it was about to expire, but it has not been renewed by the Maldivian government. So under this agreement, Indian Navy can carry out the three extensive hydrographic survey in Maldives to improve the navigation system, economic development, security, defense cooperations, environmental protections, coastal zone management, and even the scientific research. So these were the broader area and even the part where both countries were actually mutually benefited, right? नाउ थर्ड की अगर बात करें, जो थर्ड हाइड्रोलॉजिकल सर्वे हुई थी बिटवीन द नेवी एंड मालदीव्स डिफेंस फोर्सेस, दे हैव कैरिड आउट द नेवी सिप इन्वेस्टिगेटर आईएनएस इन्वेस्टिगेटर, जो कि 19 फरवरी आई मीन फ्रॉम 19 जनवरी टू फरवरी 26 which was recently concluded. And the hydrography agreement is set to expire in June 2024, but before that, the government of Maldives has actually called that we will not continue, and they have scrapped the hydrographic survey agreement. Now, the other downside that we have seen in India and Maldives relation is regarding with regards to the withdrawal of forces. So this is pretty evident in the news. I have also made a discussion in this regard. So the president of Maldives, the recently elected president, has agreed to withdraw the part of army from Maldives, right? And the new administration, which is ruled by PPM is a party that is Progressive Party of Maldives. So they have seen it is evident of the fact that this party is a pro-China, and they're tilted towards China. They are pro-China, and Maldives is India's key maritime neighbor in terms of Indian Ocean region. उसके बाद अगर बात करें सागर इनिशिएटिव और नेवर फर्स्ट पॉलिसी मैंने आपको बताया है, दोनों के लिए काफी इंपॉर्टेंट थी. द विड्रॉल ऑफ फोर्सेस डेफिनेटली create a negative impression and setback for country like India. Now we have seen the increase of China's dominance in the Maldives region. The part of the island country has been witnessing the evidential fact that the Chinese dominance is there. So China and Maldives share a good relationship in the recent time with the change of the government, and China's influence in Maldives has become visible in past few years, right? Moreover, recent में बात करें 10 ऐसे आइसलैंड हैं मालदीव्स में that has been leased to China, and this is only on the official figure. We are expecting this to increase very soon, and the number has not yet been known. According to reports, China is also stationing ship and conducting military operation on large scale. Now this become very vital considering the fact जिस तरह की लोकेशन है, अगर वो वहाँ पे डिप्लॉयमेंट करते हैं तो इंडिया के लिए एक तरह से ब्लॉकेज होगी, एंड इवन द इंडियन ओशन रीजन विल बी सब्सेप्टेबल टू द चाइनीज डोमिनेंस. नाउ वहाँ पे इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेवलपमेंट भी काफ़ी ज़्यादा हुई है. चाइना की the China's infrastructure investment that has been seen to a higher extent, to a larger extent. So Maldives has received substantial Chinese infrastructure investment. उसके अलावा जो BRI initiative है, the Belt Road Initiative, including the part of port, airways, the airport, bridges, critical infrastructures, and even under the String of Pearl initiative, this all things has been done. The Chinese influence in Maldives has been marked by the significant investment which is led by the traditional alignment with India. Now, raising concern for India and even the Chinese expanding presence in the region is definitely a military concern, a diplomatic concern, and wholesale concern that India has actually been calling for other part of the Indo-Pacific and even for the South China Sea. We have seen that part also. I'm not getting into that part. But again, Indian Ocean region में इस तरह की dominance India के लिए detrimental होगी. Now, to have a conclusion of what we have actually discussed, it is important for you to understand the fact that the recent development in Maldives and the newly elected president mark a significant shift in the islet nation foreign policy, particularly in relation with India. Now, this particular statement can be a question in the mains examination. From here only, you can be asked with a direct question. आपसे सीधा ये पूछा जा सकता है कि जो आइसलैंड नेशन है मालदीव्स की, उनकी पॉलिसी चेंज हुई है, इसके क्या क्या नेगेटिव कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस हो सकते हैं, व्हाट आर द पॉजिटिव साइड, व्हाट आर द नेगेटिव साइड. डेफिनेटली आई पर्सनली फील दैट द नेगेटिव साइड विल डोमिनेट. So you have to understand and you have to write that how we are losing out on certain part, specifically the security and geopolitical context. Now, these changes are influenced by the domestic politics. Growing influence of China is pretty evident in terms of the infrastructure development that we have seen, the implications for the regional security and even for diplomacy. As this situation evolves, it remains that we need to shift our goalpost. Maldives की जो international relations है उसके साथ और जो strategic Indian Ocean region है, we have to think of it. We need to ensure that the part of escalation, the part of things which has actually recently occurred because of the tweets and even the other things should be stopped, and we should be behaving in a mature manner. India has not yet reacted to that part, but let's see how the things will progress in the longer run. And India is in a steadfast to its commitment towards Maldives, and even always has walked an extra mile towards building a relationship. So India, in its capacity, has always been a proactive partner, a proactive neighbor, and acted to an extent that we want a robust relationship between India and Maldives. So I hope this pretty topics give you an important context about what is going and how the thing has actually evolved between India and Maldives. Let's get started with the other topic, that is about the virtual digital assets regulation in the India. We have seen certain changes specifically with regards to the regulation. So we'll understand how the thing has changed and what need to be done and what are the important measures that actually government of India is taking. So what we'll see first, we'll look into the background. Then we'll see some of the basic terms like the Financial Intelligence Unit in India, which is known as FIUI. Virtual digital assets की basic terminology देखेंगे. We'll see the regulation of virtual digital assets, G20 and virtual digital assets, and we'll conclude with the bottom line to understand what best can be done. So, what is a background? What is a premise? What is the context of this? So, recently, the Financial Intelligence Unit, which is also known as FIU IND, means India, has issued a soak-out notice to 9 offshore virtual digital asset service provider. Now, these include Binance, Quickon, Huboy, and the MCX Global. These are the other name. I don't want to name any one of them, but just to give you an understanding about the virtual digital asset service provider, these are the names. Now there was an operating, they were actually operating illegally without complying with the PMLA. What is PMLA? PMLA stand for the Provision of Money Laundering Act, जो कि बहुत serious offences हैं, and the government of India, even the financial wing, take care of this. They take it very seriously. It has been reported that it was also reported to the Secretary, the government of India, the Ministry of Electronics and Technology to block URL with all these and the part of digital asset service provider that they're operating in the country. So they have been blocked with immediate effect with the part of reported that was there by the FIU India. Now, I'll tell you brief about the Financial Intelligence Unit in India. So this was established in 2004. If you track the part of inception, it was in 2004, and primarily it is a national organization in charge with gathering and analyzing, disseminating the data about the improbable financial transaction in the country. And the other definition that you must know is about the virtual digital asset. I think most of you are aware of this fact, that what does it actually mean. But to give an idea, the Financial Acts and Task Force define virtual assets as a digital representation of the value which can be traded, right? And even used for the payment and investment purposes like Bitcoin. And there are many other sort of virtual digital assets which even RBI call for a proper regulation, and RBI even do not recognize Bitcoin in the country. According to the income tax, the virtual digital assets refers to the informations, code, number, token generation through the crypto means and even the blockchain technology. So these are the two important definitions. Before I begin with the other details, you must know. नाउ रेगुलेशंस की अगर बात करें वर्चुअल डिजिटल एसेट्स की, इंडिया में किस तरह से रेगुलेट होती है, द गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया एम्स टू इन्फोर्स द पीएमएलए, दैट इज द प्रिवेंशन ऑफ मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग एक्ट, on both the domestic and offshore. It is not only for domestic, but it's domestic and it's for offshore, aligning with the global cryptocurrency regulation. We have PMLA compliances, जिसके अंदर India has brought the virtual digital asset service provider and anti-money laundering counter-terrorism regulations under the PMLA Act 2002 in March 2023. Something very important. If you're writing specifically mains examination, you can write this as an example, right? Now, the register of financial intelligence unit की अगर बात करें, जो VDSPs हैं, the virtual digital assets service providers जो हैं, they must register with the FIU and they should comply on reporting the record keeping obligations. Until now, 31 VDSPs has been registered, but several offshore entities are yet to remain registered. Why they are not making registration? It is evidential of the fact that they must be doing some fraudulent activities in the country and even the violation of PMLA Act and the compliances. Now G20 or virtual digital assets की बात करें, India was actually the current chair for G20, where we have talked a lot about various dimensions, but among them, virtual digital assets was an important platform to be discussed. So India has measured an approach to regulate the virtual digital assets and steps in the right direction. In that context, Government of India has also called for more robust the laws and policies to ensure that we are working towards tracking the overall virtual digital ecosystem in the country. Now, India's presidency for G20 is an opportunity to establish a global regulatory framework for virtual digital assets. Now, it's a progressive regulatory framework which was established India Virtual Digital Asset Leadership and insists that the animal spirit in the India's innovation economy. So this was all something which was there, and India has made a substantial progress even to an extent that other developed countries were actually taking the cognizance of the fact that yes, we need to have a proper regulations with the virtual digital assets. Now, the bottom line can be that there is a need for a stricter enforcement of any anti-money laundering, जिसे AML भी कहते हैं, and ensuring that domestic and offshore VDS comply. So, the virtual digital assets service provider need to comply with the PMLA Act and other rules and regulation which is set by the FIU, right? The Financial Intelligence Unit wing है उसके लिए, and even the other rules and regulations set by the Ministry of Finance. Now, it evolved the balanced regulatory strategy to maintain the crypto market, pseudo anonymous nature, and maintain the financial stability. How it can be made? It can be made once the adherence of the regulation is there, and even ensure that we have a stricter norms when it comes to any kind of violation with regards to the virtual digital payment. We should be taking a stringent action against the defaulters, against the fraudulent activities that is taking place in the country. And even to an extent, the AI has created a lot more important innovations, but this virtual, the part of artificial intelligence can be negatively used in this, the virtual digital assets currency as well. So everything need to be taken and even understand of the fact that Government of India is making a comprehensive policies to ensure that everything is put in right place, and we should ensure that anti-money laundering should not take place, right? I mean, the money laundering should not take place, and there are enforcement of anti-money laundering procedures that Government of India is actually complying with. And even we as an individual should not be investing or not having some of the things which actually is restricted either by the Government of India or by the RBI. No, I would even like you to inform about the cryptocurrency if you know someone who is actually making an investment. So I mean, this is something which is not a part which should be there, right? So we should actually abstain from making any investment in crypto as well. So this is all about the important topic. I hope you like this video. If you have any other concern, queries about test series, programs, admissions, new admissions, you can reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to assist you. For time being, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for staying tuned.